Drama and controversy are trailing the governorship primary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Edo State. Now, two other candidates are laying claim to the ticket of the party after Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State and the chairman of the APC Primary Election Committee declared Dennis Idahosa of the House of Representatives winner of the primary. Well, the returning officer of the primary, Stanley Ugboaja, also declared Monday Okpebholo as the duly elected candidate, while Anamero Dekeri is also laying claim to the ticket. But the APC national leadership said the only recognized candidate is Idahosa, who was declared winner by the Uzodinma committee. BKO, they usually say a house divided against itself cannot stand. But with this development, what do you make of this ongoings in the APC, especially handling its own internal democracy? What do you make of this?
It will continue to happen if party leaders turn contests within the party to a matter of survival of the fittest. In this case, it's usually survivor of the most powerful, which is what we see in the animal kingdom. You know? Some animals are quite strong. They stand a big chance of survival. Others hardly survive because they've not got the strength and they are not social enough to hunt in packs. When you look at the African bush dog, for example, they hunt in packs and their success rate is extremely high. So the chances of winning together, dying together is high. In this case, what we usually see is powerful people within the party. They make up their minds who to support. They work with the leadership of the party, and they just go to the primary with their mind made up about who should be the standard bearer of the party. If you do that and you exclude others from the decision making, definitely they will revolt against the party. What we are seeing by way of parallel primaries is a kind of revolt against the party. And we saw this coming because when the party leader, Oshiomhole, began saying that they were going to screen and prune down the number of aspirants, some of the aspirants kicked against it because they felt that they would never get his support and that with Oshiomhole carrying on, screening aspirants, they do not stand a chance. Because with a party leader, you know where you stand. Some will have quarreled with such individuals, so they will imagine that if he had the chance to stop them, he would just do it. He would not give them a second chance. So there were those who opposed the idea of pruning down the number in the first place because they felt that they would be screened out of the contest. And the NWC was pussyfooting, whistling and tongue twisting at the same time by saying, no, only the NWC had the mandate to prune down candidates, that whoever has paid for the nomination and expression of interest form has the right to contest. But what did we see? In the end, all of those people that I talked to you about were eventually shunted aside. A good number of them went and conducted their own primary somewhere. But for the primary election to be validated and accepted by the courts, one condition must be met, which is that the INEC must supervise the process. INEC supervising the process was supposed to be a means of ensuring transparency and accountability. But most of the time, INEC just stands there, just to fulfill all righteousness. They say they are supervising. What are they really supervising at the end of the day? Irregularities are ignored. So what really does the INEC do? Simply to show its presence, and that is it. We've seen primaries that were dogged by irregularities, vote rigging, and all that. They will say INEC supervised. What did they supervise? They were just bystanders. Just watching. They lacked the power to get involved. They were just watching. So at the end of the day, you even question the intent when you say INEC should, INEC must supervise. What really do they mean by supervision? When all they do is just simply stand by, watch what is going on, watch all the shenanigans, all the drama going on. They don't say anything. They don't even put it in their reports. So in this case now, it is very clear that out of the three, the winner of one of the of the primaries is already canonized by INEC itself and the leadership of the party, because the REC in Edo is saying, oh, it is only the primaries that the leadership of the party means to us that we should monitor, that we will go and monitor. So you then ask the question, how did the leadership of the party know that there will be primaries conducted by others? Parallel primaries, whereby you now took a decision that, okay, go to this one. But those things are usually spontaneous, most of the time spontaneous. I'm not saying all the time. So at the end of the day, the leadership of the party has taken a position. Where the court steps in is if the other people can prove that what happened was not a primary election. And it happens. In Anambra State, the last governorship primary of the APC, despite having one of the Southwest governors to supervise, they always tell us, they always send governors, as if when you see those governors, it means that the whole process will be okay. What happened? Go and read the judgment of the courts, right up to Supreme Court. There was no primary in Anambra State, and there was a governor who was supervising. So if as a governor, you cannot enforce the rules and regulations of your party that govern the conduct of primaries, then what are you doing? What exactly are you doing? So in this case now, there is no guarantee that the court cannot step in. But that's why I used the example of Anambra. We had the governor of Ogun State supervising the primaries, but it was still adjudged a non-event by the court, right up to the Apex Court. And it was one of the reasons cited, although the APC came third in the election, but it didn't stop Andy Uba from going all the way to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court affirmed that what happened was not a party primary. So this party, the leadership of this party has to be careful, sit up, and try its best to be transparent in these matters. When you are transparent, you will be able to ensure that when they are going for the election, everybody is singing from the same hymnal.
Yeah.
But if you are not transparent, people are pulling in different directions. It has made them to lose many elections. I always say that the PDP in 2019 gained more new states than the APC because of infighting. And you look at that election, the PDP made big gains in the elections because of infighting within the APC, always coming from a winning position to a losing one. So, and it's things like this. You can't get everyone to come together, to have disparate primaries here and there, leaders trying to use power. Look at what Amechi did in Rivers. Do you recall what Amechi did in Rivers? Right. Even when the courts told him, go and conduct a new primary, ensure that you bring the Magnus Abe group into the loop. Amechi refused because he had made up his mind that as far as he's a powerful person, Magnus Abe will amount to nothing. So in the end, what happened? The Supreme Court ruled that APC shall not feed a single candidate in all the elections because of one man. That's APC for you.
Wale, from BKO's perspective, the APC needs to be transparent in political matters because it has cost them elections in some certain states. But even as the party gears up for the elections in Edo, a few months from now, well, September actually, how do you see this affecting their chances in the Edo governorship election? Do you see a repeat of what happened during the time when the case was also...
The one major issue here is that if we define democracy as government of the people, by the people, and for the people, I think we have seen consistently, the absence of people in terms of content, of democracy in electoral politics in Nigeria. Because we are talking of primaries, either direct or indirect. It means that people must come and choose the person to represent the members of the political party. Right. And we know what goes on in other countries, where if there are primaries, either Republican Party, Labour Party, the candidates will go from one place to the other, meeting their members, educating them on their policies on agriculture, on economy, on environment, on security. So the masses who want to vote, or members of the political party, are convinced, based on the programs of the candidate who also vie for election in their party. But that is absent in our contest here. All the three candidates we are talking about in Edo State, when did they go round to talk to the people, to convince them? The people just went to the field to queue behind probably godfathers. So it's like we have three main godfathers now that are contending. Each one has come up with some candidate. So in all of this, it is the people that has been excluded from democratic principles. And you have a situation where the party has become more or less like, something that is no longer owned by the people. It has become a kind of stock exchange where the shares are owned by few individuals. The people are just to make up the idea that, okay, we have democracy. So I'm really sure, because if you look at even the figures released by the various candidates, one said one of the candidates had 40,000. Then one said the winner had 12,000. So you can, and they even had the primary in the home of one godfather, and announced, the result in the home of one of the godfathers. So the fact of the matter is that this is definitely going to affect not just development of democracy in Edo State, but also development of democracy in Nigeria. People all over the world will be laughing at us that what are these people doing? It's going to affect the quality of governance. Right. Because this man is not coming there on the platter of people's will. Yeah. It's coming in on the whims and caprices of one individual. And there's no guarantee that he will not even betray that individual, because we have seen that happen over and over. But when we are talking about APC, it's not even APC alone. Look at what is going on in the Labour Party, even to account for money spent for elections. So the smaller parties, you may think, oh, they are better. They are the same.
They are not better.
They are not better. Go to when they hold their primaries. In fact, you have one village tyrant there, dictating who will emerge. So it's the same. Even in our local elections, NANS elections, Labour elections, it has become a recurrent character in our democratic institutions. So it's going to definitely going to affect APC, but wait for PDP primary. I'm almost sure a similar thing, not the same, will happen. So I believe that the APC still has the opportunity to reconcile, to correct this anomaly. But if they go into this election divided, even if they win, the legacy of the process, the 40 process will have been laid.
Dekeri, before we leave this issue, how do you think the APC can resolve this dispute in terms of correcting this anomaly?
I would love to see a primary election that binds the party together. I would like to see maybe a fresh primary election conducted with the Yamu group involved, and other people who feel betrayed, because the Yamu group is also a prominent group within the party. You will never know how important someone is until he begins to work against you. And we've seen that happen, causing them to lose some states, especially in 2019. And even 2023. So if they can do a fresh election, for example, a fresh primary election with everybody involved, then chances are that when they are going to the contest, they are going to it a stronger entity. But if that doesn't happen, for a party that is struggling to take over power, I had one APC member saying on TV yesterday that Edo is APC is Edo. He said this one is a very deluded fellow. His PDP is in power in the state. PDP defeated you in the governorship election 4 years ago, and you are saying Edo is APC, APC is Edo. How can you lie openly like this without shame? So they need to come together and have a primary election acceptable or accepted by all.
Right.
That's my view. Sometimes the courts can compel a fresh primary election. Remember the joke that happened in the joke of primary election that happened in Taraba involving this same party. The court had to order a fresh primary election. So these things happen. Sometimes they order a fresh election. And I've seen that when they tell you that, direct primary is more transparent, there is no primary election that can be manipulated by these powerful party people. They can manipulate anything, whether it's direct primary or indirect. They are counting. For example, direct primary, they get to 50 and they just move to 80. The next person, after you count, I've seen this thing even in videos. The last person that was counted was 80. And then without shame, you move to 100. You can't do that now with everybody watching. But what the Nigerian politician cannot do does not exist.